Okay, I woke up late, I know that. It's 4:58 p.m. here in Vancouver, and I'm still recovering from a cough. I can't hold a pitch. My vocal cords really aren't working the way that I would like them to, but I didn't even really think that I would need to make this video because when I woke up, I got up and I looked at my phone and I was like, okay, here it is, the NHL's return to play plan. It's the playoffs, it's the draft lottery, it's everything, it's the play-in rounds, and I read this and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm not surprised at any of this stuff, which is why I didn't want to make immediate videos about it, because it's a lot of information that many people just kind of already know and have talked about in the past, so it's not really anything new. But the draft lottery. Okay, the draft lottery here is something that I am very, very surprised about. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I'm going to make videos tomorrow on May 27th going over Detroit, Montreal, and Vancouver and the implications for those teams and the draft lotteries, etc. Because those three teams each have very different stories as to how they could be involved with this draft. But let's just make this video here to go over what exactly the draft is entailing, how this is going to go down, and pretty much the weird implications on all sides as to how this could develop. So, if we go over to the draft lottery procedure article on NHL.com, we have ourselves a full long list that goes over pretty much what Bob McKenzie was saying in his Twitter thread yesterday. Here it is in the paragraph here on NHL.com. The draft lottery will determine the first 15 picks in the 2020 draft based on 3 to 6 drawings over 1 or 2 phases. Pretty much, we're going to have a very normal draft lottery where the bottom 15 teams in the NHL have a chance to win first overall. It's going to be the 7 teams eliminated as well as the 8 loser teams in the play-in rounds. But because of how everything is assorted, and because the draft lottery, which is going to be on June 26th, is going to be before the play-in rounds, the draft lottery is going to include the 7 teams that we already know were eliminated: Detroit, Ottawa, Buffalo, New Jersey, Anaheim, and LA. And then we're going to have 8 unnamed placeholder picks that will correspond to the losers of the play-in rounds. These 8 picks will just be unassigned and random, and it's because of these picks that a second draft lottery may need to be necessary. Because if any of these 8 picks belonging to play-in round losers wins the lottery in either 1, 2, or 3, maybe all 3, then there will need to be a second draft lottery to determine which play-in teams get those play-in picks. And it says here that all play-in picks are going to have equal odds for each of the play-in losers. So, my oh my, that's crazy. So that's kind of why it says at the beginning there will be 3 to 6 lottery drawings. There's going to be 3 guaranteed. 1 for the first pick, 1 for the second pick, and 1 for the third pick. But if any of those first, second, or third picks are won by these play-in round losers, we will have another lottery for the number of corresponding playoff loser picks that ends up winning a first, second, or third overall lottery. Meaning that in a worst-case scenario, we could legitimately see the first, second, and third overall picks belonging to play-in round losers. And then, if that happens, we will need to do a 4th lottery, 1 for the first overall pick again, which play-in loser is going to win that, a 5th lottery to award the 2nd overall pick to a play-in loser, and a 6th lottery to award the 3rd overall pick to a play-in loser. We could legitimately see Edmonton, Toronto, and Chicago getting the first 3 overall picks. Dude, this is whack. Obviously, as a fan of different teams in different circumstances, I can see the good and the negative out of this. Yes, those videos that we're going to make about the teams that I cheer for, those are coming out tomorrow. I'll talk about Detroit, I'll talk about Montreal, I'll talk about Vancouver, but as a generalist over here, looking at the entire picture of these scenarios that could happen, we have ourselves a very legitimate chance that Alexis Lafreniere goes to a team that many dubbed is probably a playoff team. Because these play-in rounds are legitimately best 3 out of 5, there's a very real possibility that a team that was really good in the regular season, or a team that probably should have already been in the playoffs, is going to get eliminated. It's inevitable. And the possibility of these teams that were so good already potentially winning Lafreniere, Byfield, or Stützle, or Drysdale, or whatever, is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I think that the NHL was honestly kind of doomed from the start. There was no real way to get themselves a lottery system that wouldn't have found a way to piss people off, because if they wanted to just say, okay, we'll just do the first overall pick goes to Detroit, the second and third go to Ottawa, okay, etc., then even that kind of thing, people would have been upset because, hey, you know, there's a lottery in place. Detroit just tanked, you know? There's a whole bunch of implications on that here, but the way this lottery is going down, we could legitimately see some very interesting picks. And I'll have more on that tomorrow for Detroit, Vancouver, and Montreal, but for now, I'm just kind of shocked. So I hope you enjoyed this quick video, such as that Trollson 99, and bye.